And we're live. Happy Monday morning, ladies. I'm so excited to be here. It seems like I took, of course, Saturday and Sunday off, which I always recommend everyone take some time off. But I was live every single day last week in our group. And it was so fun. I thought, oh my gosh, this can be overwhelming, but it wasn't. Every day I had something to go live about, talk about, interview somebody about. And it was just fun to connect more with all of you. So I want to also challenge you to continue checking out these videos, taking advantage of what our VIP members have to bring forward, like Keira does today, which we're going to talk about, and really engaging with the group, because the more we connect and the more exposure that you're able to get yourself, obviously, like Keira is this morning, the more your influence is going to spread and widen when you keep getting your message out. And again, that equals getting the opportunity to work with more clients and engaging with more women. So Keira, welcome to your Monday morning spotlight.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited too. So let's talk about why we're here this morning with Keira. Keira, I have two of my journals. I guess I should show those really quick. So I wrote two journals that I did not plan on writing. Last year, they just kind of came in my meditation and my downloads. And I have two journals. One that is that's just for you to jot your inspiration through, and it's just has pages for you to jot your inspiration. Another one is guided, so it's a journal that's guided where you do your gratitude, you answer every day, and several ladies that have ordered these love them. And who do you think I had this published through? None other than Freedom House Publishing. So Keira is my publisher for my journals, and I wanted to bring her forward because she is one of our VIP members and is really jumping into Freedom House Publishing and giving women the opportunity to bring their voices forward through a written book, and sharing their light in the world. So Keira, talk to us about why Freedom House Publishing, and how can women that think, I would love to write a book, but that daunting feeling of, there's no way I could write a book, it's way too much to do. How can you help them do that?
Well, Freedom House is really special. Freedom House is only for women. So we only publish women's books, and we only publish books that are self help, spiritual, anything that's going to aid in bringing light to the world, which is why your journals were a perfect fit, because they just bring so much light to people. And something that I'll tell my story is I felt inspired to write a book, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. It was the beginning of my journey. And I had no idea how to write a book, but I did allow the divine to work through me. And I wrote a book in a very quick amount of time with 5 kids, one computer, like crazy situations. And then I went to publish it, and I went into so much debt publishing this book. And I knew there is a better way, because more people need to get their books into the world, and there's got to be a better way. So I'm happy to say that Freedom House is the better way. We are the most affordable publishing house you're going to find. We take no royalties. You own all the rights to your books, and we are the vessel to bring your message into the world.
Mm-hmm. That's where you're different. So, besides we keep the royalties, let's talk about getting your message out into the world and you being the vessel for that. Because that is, when I worked with you, Keira, that was what I really felt, that you were that conduit for me in helping me really figure out what that message was and how I get that out. So if someone is thinking about writing a book, what would you really say their first steps are in what they should do? And for the women that you've worked with and the processes that you've taken them through, what is the first steps for them if they're listening right now?
So this is something that I love to do. I help women write their books quickly. So I just had someone write an amazing book on the Divine Mother in 4 weeks. So this is kind of where we're at. I just wrote a book in 4 weeks while my kids were quarantine homeschooling, and I was launching 2 huge projects. So this practice works. And the practice is allowing the divine. So if that's God, whatever is your higher source, really allowing it to work through you. So it's not coming from your mind, Instead, it's channeling through your body into your hands. And this is how every author I work with writes quickly. I created a course on I have some strange methods that I use, but they work. They work every single time. So I created a small little mini course on how to begin. But if someone wasn't going to jump into that course, I would say spend some time with the divine, asking, what is this book? What's the title of the book? And putting aside a sacred space every day to receive the book through.
That's key. That is key because you know me when we met, I'm going 80 miles an hour. I wasn't slowing down. And I was really frustrated a lot of days because I did what a lot of women do today, which is in like this excessive push and pull, where we feel that we're on our own as entrepreneurs. It's our brain power. It's what we can think up. It's our actions that are making things happen in our world. And the biggest slap in the face, I think, or lesson I learned over those years was the more that I allow God, and for me, it's God, and everyone knows that, and that's in my membership, the more that I allowed God to deliver messages to me, to take that time and pull the space away from the busy push and pull of thinking I had to do it all myself, and allow the messages to come through and the downloads to come through and the direction and the inspiration to come through. That was when I said I had no plan to write journals. And God was like, well, you need to write these journals. I still don't know the reason why, because I use them and I sell them and I send them as gifts to people, but I still don't know the reason why. I don't know if I'll ever know the reason why I needed to, but I just know that he knows more than I do, and it's going to change someone's life. And there's a reason why it had to be written, but we don't always need to know the why right behind it. It could just be that's the direction we were led, and knowing that and trusting that process. That's tough to do.
Yeah. And I will say, writing a book with God is the most sacred experience you will have. And sometimes we are invited to write a book with God leading and guiding us for that experience only, to truly experience channeling through truth and light. There's just nothing more exciting, and it shifts and changes the way you experience life. Like my writing my book 4 years ago shift and changed every piece of me, which now has channeled into multiple businesses and multiple offerings. But it all began with learning how to bring through light.
Which you had no original plan of.
No. When I heard it, and it's so funny. I remember I got this like huge mass email from a big blogger that said that the title was, "You need to write a book." And I just skimmed by that title, and it was literally like someone tapped on my shoulder and said, "Yes, you." And I was like, "Oh, no. I have 5 kids. I've never gone to college. I'm not writing a book." And it just came and came and came until finally I was like, all right, God, if I'm going to write a book, you better show me what it was. And then that began to be the prayer. Well, then if I'm writing, what is it? And it came through so clearly. And I watched this happen time and time again for all of my authors.
Yeah. So really, for everyone out there, it really doesn't matter what you believe in. Just knowing that you're not alone and that there is a source or energy out there, the universe, that is guiding us and guiding you into your message and what it is that you need to bring to the world, because someone out there needs to hear your message. And how, if you're feeling that burn that you need to get your message out through a book, Keira is, I mean, it's the simplest process I've ever done. And I know she's even perfected it since I worked with her. So I want to highly recommend that all of you reach out to Keira just to connect with her, to get to learn more about, if it's not writing a book, how can you connect more and not feel like you're out there trying to run this business all by yourself, but how can you connect with the higher source? How can you connect with God? How can you connect with the universe for you to be able to kind of relax and not feel like the pressure's all on you, but allow God to have that message flow through you instead of it all being the push and pull, which I experienced for a lot of years. And giving up that control actually is what set me free and produced the success I have today.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm,
for
so
sure.
true. And
Yeah.
that's really I even have a class inside the mini course called Be a Vessel of Light. And that's really what I believe all leadership is. If we can allow God to work through us, then we are just a vessel for more light to come, whether that be where you choose to write a book, or you want to have a podcast, or you want to coach, but you are just a vessel, a conduit for this light to come through. Everything falls into place so much easier. It's the only way my authors write books in 4 weeks. Like, there's just no other way. Nobody writes books that fast, right?
Yeah.
So it's such an exciting way to run business. It's such an exciting way to create,
Mhm.
and then it actually just amplifies light through the world.
Yeah. And Keira has a podcast. So if any of you are interested in not only just listening to her podcast, but possibly being a guest on her podcast, I recommend you look into that. So Keira, tell
Yeah.
our the ladies that are listening and watching, how can they get in contact with you on your podcast? Instagram, I know, is one of the best ways to follow
Mhm.
you. So if you could just let them know what they're looking up, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you want to go over to Instagram, my name is Keira Poulsen, and she'll have it spelled for you. Just DM me. Also, I will put a link below for you guys to get on, book a session, like a 30-minute talk to me on my calendar. We can talk about anything that you're working through. If you're podcasting, writing a book, and my podcast is about awakening to the divine. And it's a lot about spiritual entrepreneurs, people who are creating a massive difference in the world, and their story of how they woke up. So if that's something that you feel you've been through, reach out. I'd love to have you on my show.
That's wonderful, Keira. Well,
Mhm.
thanks for joining us today. Again, it's awesome to be able to bring our VIP members forward. And I'm just giddy about the level of ladies and leaders that we have in this group and Lead Up for Women, and how they are always looking to lift and support and guide other women, instead of us, comparing ourselves and competing against each other. The more that we can share our gifts with each other and lift each other and get each other out there, the better off we're all going to be, because we need strong female voices in the workplace, as entrepreneurs, if we want to make lasting change. So
Mm.
thank you, Keira, for making a lasting change and
Mm.
for being with me today and putting yourself out there in all that you do for women. It's
Well,
very
thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you,
All
Connie.
right, ladies, have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.